Welcome back to the deep dive. So, today we're tackling something that, it's become almost a universal belief in self help circles.
Oh, absolutely. This idea that your brain is, well, that it can tell the difference between what's real and what you just imagine.
You hear it all the time. Just visualize that success, affirm you have the job. The logic is that your brain will just manifest it.
Right. And that's the core of the law of attraction. It's this promise of limitless creation, all based on a very simple premise.
Exactly. We're told if you say you're useless, that becomes your reality. If you say you're successful, that does too. And today, we're going to correct this. The mechanism is real, but the framing is deeply flawed.
That's the perfect way to put it. That surface truth is what we call as a SID. It's observable, it feels right. But to get real, reliable results, you have to go deeper to Al-Haq, the true governance mechanism.
So, our mission today is to hand you the operational manual for your mind.
We're going to show you that the brain isn't a chaotic creator. It's a disciplined, governed interface.
First, we'll validate the neuroscience, why this belief is so popular. Then we introduce the governance framework using those core characters, Adam, Iblis, Shaitan, as cognitive roles.
And we'll map the entire process onto the immutable 10-element governance protocol, which we call DEAN. This is how you program your reality the right way.
Okay, so let's start with the science. Why does this idea feel so true?
Because the brain's most fundamental job is anticipation. It's constantly running models trying to meet your body's needs before they even arise.
It's trying to get ahead of the game.
Always. It's an efficiency mechanism. And that's what makes these manifestation ideas seem so powerful.
Let's use a really concrete example here, something everyone gets.
But thirst is the perfect one, the classic case.
Right, so you're incredibly thirsty, you drink a glass of water, and boom, instant relief. The thirst is just gone.
Instant. But here's the thing, that feeling of relief is entirely a prediction.
What do you mean a prediction? The water is in my body.
It is, but physically,
Hmm?
it takes a minimum of, say, 15 to 20 minutes for that water to actually get absorbed into your bloodstream and signal to your brain that you're rehydrated.
So my body hasn't actually changed yet.
Not at a chemical level, no.
Yeah.
The subjective feeling of relief is your brain's model saying, I know this script, we're drinking water, so I'll give you the hydrated mental state now and we can skip the 20-minute wait.
Wow. Okay, and there's a specific part of the brain that handles this.
There is. The key piece of hardware is the locus coeruleus, or the LC. It's a tiny nucleus deep in your brainstem.
And what does it do?
It's the main source of norepinephrine in the brain. It basically governs your attention, your arousal, your whole stress response.
So the LC is deciding what gets highlighted in my reality. It's like the spotlight operator for the stage of my consciousness.
That is a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And that's the physical truth. Now, here's where we make the pivot to governance.
Okay, so if the brain is this powerful, why is that core belief, my mind creates reality, so wrong? You call it a kernel level corruption.
We do. Because the corruption, the shirk, is giving absolute creative power, what we call ACON, to the brain itself.
But the brain is just the interface.
Exactly. It's a biological component of the apparition, the physical reality you perceive. The brain doesn't create the tundra, it just highlights it for you.
So I'm not the creator, I'm the programmer of the interface.
That is the correction. The brain is the governed biological interface for the NAF.
And the NAFs. That's the real me.
That's your persistent cognitive essence. It's the operator, the consciousness that holds intention and choice. Saying your brain makes reality is like giving the driver's license to the car.
Okay, let's go back to that interface, the LC. If the NAFs is the operator, how does it use the LC as this? Personal reality highlighter.
Think of what we call the white tundra effect. Your focus, your visualization, it doesn't create the tundra.
It just finds it.
It issues a search command. The NAF sends a stable, high-fidelity command to the LC console, and the LC then filters all the incoming sensory data to make that tundra visible to you. It was always there. You just commanded the system to highlight it.
That distinction changes everything. It's not chaotic wishing, it's disciplined command.
Precisely. And this is why certain protocols, like those used by Dr. Joe Dispenza to overcome things like paralysis, can work. It's not just positive thinking.
It's command over the apparition.
Yes, the NAPS provides a pure, stable command, a belief so solid it overrides the physical data. And since the spine is, from a governance view, part of the apparition, the governor, Allah, can recalibrate it to match the NAF's mission.
Which you call zakat. The operator's intention literally dictates the hardware's function.
It does. Which means if you want to successfully command your reality, You need the operating manual. You need Dean.
And Dean isn't just religion, right?
Not in that sense, no.
R-
It is the immutable 10-element governance protocol. It's the structure of the operating system. It defined how things are intended to work.
Okay, 10 elements. This is the backbone of the system. Let's not just list them. How do they work as a framework?
We can group them into 3 functions. First, you have the foundational elements.
The basics.
Right. Number 1, terminology. You have to use the right words. Precision. If you use fuzzy terms, the command is corrupted.
Number 2 is roles. Knowing who you are, the steward, Adam, and who the governor is.
And number 3 is dues. Accountability. You're responsible for every command you issue.
So if I want to start a business, but I call profit something vague like my reward.
Your command is low fidelity. The system can't measure it. You've corrupted the dues.
Okay, what's the next group?
The operational elements, how the system works. Number 4, authorities. What can you actually change? You can't change gravity, but you can command your focus.
Then you have rules, the hard boundaries like physics and policies, which are the long-term goals of the system.
And 7th, procedures, the workflows, the required sequence of steps for any action.
So visualization fails because it skips elements 1 through 7. It jumps straight to the end.
That's exactly right. And that brings us to the final 3. The execution elements, which are actions, the actual things you do.
Yeah.
Domains, the scope where the rules apply, your body, your family, and finally, exceptions.
How the system handles failures.
And allows for recalibration. It's the complete manual for the NAFs.
Okay, let's apply this. How do the characters you mentioned, Adam, Iblis, Shaitan, map onto this as cognitive roles?
So we are Adam, the operators, the ones who accepted the assignment of stewardship, the Khalifa.
And Iblis, this is the one that's going to challenge people. You're saying Iblis isn't some external devil.
Iblis is internal. He represents our inherent biases, our cognitive shortcuts, our confirmation bias. He is built into the NAFs.
He's a feature, not a bug.
He's necessary. He is the resistance that validates the strength of your command. You can't polish a diamond without friction. Iblis is that friction.
And Shaitan, if Iblis is the static bias, what's Shaitan?
Shaitan is the kinetic state of error. He's the active disposition to block divine guidance. When you choose to listen to Iblis of faulty logic, you strengthen Shaitan.
You turn a flaw into an active failure mechanism.
And that faulty logic, that rational thinking, is often called nar, or fire. It's not hellfire, it's man-made domain illumination.
The weak light of my own limited reasoning.
Exactly. You're using your own little candle instead of the system's floodlights. The opposite of that is jhana, which is a cognitive state of concealed insight, of high bandwidth receptivity to guidance.
So this whole human experience is really about polishing the nafs, the uncut diamond.
It is. Iblis is the grit. The trials, the isir, are the polishing process, and this is how you achieve iman, which means safety and security. Your iman strength is literally a measure of challenges overcome versus resistance avoided.
Okay, so to properly polish that diamond, we need a standard procedure. This must be the 7 stages of knowledge you mentioned.
The divinely guided learning model, yes. It's the workflow for creating high-fidelity knowledge and transferring it, which is zakat.
Let's walk through it. Stage 1.
Sunala, the idea. Just a raw cognitive spark.
Then nutfa. It becomes a plausible hypothesis. You do some research.
Stage 3 is iyalaka, a cluster of concepts. This is where the knowledge clings to you. You're hooked. And interestingly, this is the first mention of the nafs in the sources, the state of being hooked up to the network.
And from there.
Mudga, a manageable understanding. You can explain it to yourself. Then izam, you build a new schema, a solid framework.
6th is lam, adherence. You share it, you teach it. This is zakat.
And in doing so, you stress test the knowledge. Finally, stage 7 is anshana, evolve. The new knowledge becomes your new baseline.
That is a rigorous quality control process, nothing like just visualizing an outcome.
It's the complete opposite. And the final, critical step is to use the correct language, the correct locution from the governance manual, the Quran to label these concepts.
So you're speaking the language of the system.
You are submitting a high-fidelity command.
So we've completed the shift. You are not the chaotic victim of your thoughts, nor are you the arrogant creator of your reality.
You are the disciplined programmer of the console, LC, operating within a vast, specific governance system, Dean.
And the system is fair. Right, it's balanced.
Perfectly. It guarantees you are never burdened beyond your capacity, your wusaha, and you are 100% responsible for the good or ill you earn through your choices.
This changes the entire concept of intention. And it must change how we see dua or supplication. It's not just a wish list, is it?
Dua is not passive wishing. It's the active, disciplined craft of writing a protocol request, the full using the precise Abrahamic locution from the governance manual.
Which brings us to a final thought for everyone to chew on. If you look at the most powerful dua there is, Surah Al-Fatila,
It asks for almost nothing material.
it asks only for one thing: governance. Guide us to the methodology for self-correction.
So if the highest form of communication with the governor is just asking for the correct protocol for your own development, how much energy are you wasting wishing for apparitions for tundras instead of focusing on the high-fidelity protocol that actually governs your entire reality?
That knowledge is the only command that truly matters.